Welcome back to the final credits. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about two little trailers that came out this week called Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, and Wolves. And also, we'll be reviewing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned for more. Joining us today, we got none other than Johnny64.
To me, my X-Men.
Joey Pancakes.
Welcome. Feels good to be back.
And me, Mike Spade. So, a little housekeeping type deal. So, we had a little bit of a water issue, flood. It was a whole big thing. So, we had to redo everything at the studio. But other than that, we're good to go now. So,
We're all dry.
yeah, we're all dry. So, guys, let's just jump right in. We are talking about none other than Beverly Hills Cop. So, gentlemen, what's his name?
Axel Foley?
Axel Foley is back. So what do we think about this?
It's the nostalgia continues in 2024. Well on Netflix, but classic Eddie Murphy is back. What can you ask for? It's gonna be funny from what we saw in the trailer so far.
Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a Netflix movie for first and foremost, right?
Right.
Like there's no theatrical run, I don't believe.
Not to our knowledge so far.
So that doesn't really give me a lot of hope for this movie. I'm not the biggest Bev Cop fan. I saw the first two. I never saw 3, and I understand that 3 is not the best movie in the world. I think they play on that a little bit in this trailer too. But it didn't feel like a Beverly Hills Cop movie, and I think it's just because it's so ingrained in 80s and early 90s culture that bringing it into a modern day type of movie just makes it feel a little too different, if that makes sense to either one of you. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but you know what I mean? It feels like just another action cop movie, and Eddie Murphy's in it now, you know?
But that was the whole idea of the original one, no? It was an action cop movie that Eddie Murphy was in it playing a loose cannon cop, but we got Kevin Bacon now.
Great. Yeah, no, he's awesome, but it's just I don't know. Like I said, when I say it's so ingrained in 80s culture, I mean I want to see 80s cars. I want to hear 80s music in the background. It was just such a symbolic movie of that time that it's just seeing it in this light is just not I feel like it's more of just a nostalgia pull than anything else.
Well, they're playing off of the past. He's oh, this is not the first time I've been to Beverly Hills, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is playing, well, that was a long time ago. A lot has changed. Yeah. So he's going to be stuck in it. They'll probably play off of that in his comic ways, how he's stuck in his ways from the past, and he'll be struggling with updated police ways of today's world of the LAPDs.
Well, what I want to believe is my headcanon is that this is Robin in his post Batman, post Glory Days era. Now he has a boring desk job at the police precinct. And he's living a normal life now, so you can think of it that way too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the movie isn't clicking with me. It's just I'm not getting that classic Beverly Hills Cop feel. When they brought back the classic style of Ghostbusters and Afterlife, that felt like a modern follow up of a Ghostbusters movie. The look and feel was there. I don't feel like the look and feel is there for this as a Beverly Hills Cop movie with how it's.
I see what you're saying.
Of today.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a little bit different. I mean, how long can a cop be a cop? I mean, we're looking at the first one was 40 years ago.
Yeah,
right. So let's just say
it's going to change. I get that.
Right, but even if he stayed as a cop from 40 years ago, at this point in his career, he'd probably be at a desk job, not
maybe. Yeah.
Not on the streets.
They try to establish the reason why he'll be in LA. He has a daughter that he's clearly wants nothing to do with him, and that could be the main reason why he's back in Beverly Hills or back in the LA area. And
that and Billy's in trouble. So
well,
of course,
I will say the thing that gives it most of its identity is not even Eddie Murphy. It's Judge Reinhold coming back.
Yes.
Because I feel like he is such a symbol of movies back then. Because when was the last time we've seen him? right?
Oh,
It's been a long time since we've seen him in a movie, so it's just like seeing him again, like like on screen is just like okay, like that definitely shifts things back a little bit for me. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it does. Like I said, it being a Netflix only movie is not a good sign for something like a name as big as this. But yeah, it's I'll give it a chance. I'll definitely give it a chance.
Do you think it'll do better than his Going to America sequel that was on Prime? Like,
I never watched that.
I didn't
How
understand.
was that?
I saw it.
Actually, no, I did watch it and I forgot all about it. That's all I have to say about
Here's
that.
the thing. In that movie, Wesley Snipes was the best thing about that movie. So hopefully, Billy is the best thing about this movie. But the question goes out to you guys. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section down below.
excuse me, guys, I gotta go make sure a banana is not in my muffler and my car's okay.
No. Oh. Okay. Pancake's going to his car while me and Johnny64 are going to be talking about
A
wolves.
grammatically incorrect name.
Oh, my bad, guys. My bad, guys. I did the spelling on this.
Yeah,
with my terrible
not
grammar.
wolves, but wolves.
Well, what if both their names are Wolf?
I'm assuming there has to be some sort of wordplay here. That's probably it. But
So basically, this movie is what now? It's
it's like a buddy spy movie or like a buddy like
cleanup movie.
Yeah,
'cause
like
they're cleanup guys.
a buddy fixer movie.
a buddy hitman movie.
Yeah.
So it's my what was it? My Hitman's Bodyguard, which Ryan Reynolds, something to that extent.
I guess, yeah. It looks a little predictable, don't you think? It's just like, you know, these two hardened hitmen or fixers or whatever you want to call them, like they don't want to work together, but they're forced to, and you know, like
They're gonna end up fighting.
they
somewhere
don't
in the
like each
middle.
other throughout, but then the journey
Right.
is like the friendship they make along the way, and you know they'll come together,
Well-
and then they'll make like a joint hitman company, like a
what-
dark web company or
Well,
something.
it's your favorite studio on the planet, or your favorite company on the planet.
Definitely
that's-
not my favorite studio on the planet. Although they're not bad, but yeah,
I don't know, man.
This is Apple's next big movie apparently. So
Apple's been doing great so far. Sure, they had a little snag.
well, they had Argyle.
That's the little snag. I
They
was
had
talking
Argyle.
about.
Okay, let's not like mince words here.
The writer and director, John Watts, one of his first
Yep.
post Marvel or Spider-Man films.
Yep. As
so
we can
that-
see, you are a fan of yourself with your shirt.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, no, I have no problems with him as a director. I thought he did a great job with all the Spider-Man films. I'm not sure what else he might have done like outside of that I'm not thinking of. But yeah,
Who? John Watts?
yeah. What else did he do that
John
I'm not
Watts
thinking of?
did the Old Man TV series, a couple of episodes. The
Oh, was he-
Spider-Man.
Was he more of a TV director before Spider-Man?
Music videos.
music videos?
Music videos. Okay. I mean, so far so good. And, you know, him coming into Hollywood.
And he was originally on board to do the Fantastic Four movie before he dropped out of
Right.
that to write and direct that as well, but
Yeah.
probably fatigue from the Marvel machine.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. I mean, I'm not worried about him being director. I'm just worried about like Apple making sure that this is not another clusterfuck of a writing movie.
Yeah, but you have the selling point of the two biggest stars in Hollywood, and George Clooney and Brad Pitt, and you know they're great friends outside, and they work together obviously with the Ocean movies.
Yeah.
So they're probably gonna play off of that. So hopefully it's not a copycat of
But
what
see, that's always been Apple's thing. It's just like, hey, you want to see this movie because we have this big star in it. We have like Robert De Niro. We have Jennifer Aniston in this TV show. We have Reese Witherspoon. We have, you know, what's his name? Who directed the Killers of the Flower Moon?
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese. Like,
yeah.
you know, they like to like, you know, hinge on big names and get them into the movies. But like the movies themselves, some of them hit. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, some of them don't, like Argyle and Napoleon. So it's, you know, I know we had things to say about both those movies, but yeah, I mean, like I said, this movie it doesn't seem bad. It just seems really predictable, and that's just been, if anything holds Apple's stuff back, it's predictability. So we'll see. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about this. So we'll see.
Did you get any vibes of Ocean's 11 at all? No, right?
It's not, because Oceans is like a heist type of movie. This does. I mean, it seems like it could be a heist, but it's like a hitman heist. It's about like, you know,
Yeah, I guess you could
getting
say
a
that.
job done. You know, like, but that's the same kind of concept, I guess. So.
But like you said, two guys forced to work together because they have a common enemy.
But they don't like it, and they're not fans of each other. So they're going to be going back and forth with their banter the entire movie. You know?
Look, all I'm going to say is I like the trailer, and I think it seems like it's a movie that, not should be watched, but I'm pretty sure we're going to watch this one.
Yeah, maybe we'll see this in theaters, but this seems like more of something like if I don't have something to watch on TV and I'm trying to justify my subscription to Apple TV Plus, I'm just gonna put this on.
Wow, really? That bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we still have some time, so I'm sure we'll get another trailer or two since it still doesn't come out to September
20th.
Yeah, we got a while to go on this.
We got some time.
Cautiously optimistic, like I said.
So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this movie is going to be a bomb like Argyle and what was the other one that you mentioned? Napoleon, right?
Or Killers of the Flop would be.
Well, Killers was good.
Yeah.
Killers was good, but a little long. So
Way too long.
Yeah.
That was a Scorsese problem, not an Apple problem.
Yeah, agreed. So let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think of The Wolves.
Wolves.
Or Wolves. Whatever. Yeah.
Hard F.
Hard F. So, gentlemen, we saw a little movie before our
Just a little movie.
Yeah, before our little
Flooding
incident. We had
ironically, which is like a big thing about this movie too.
So we saw this movie, and we're probably a little late in the game to reviewing it. But you know what? We saw it. We figured we should let you guys know how we think about it. So, gentlemen, who wants to go first?
Well, I was going into this thinking, we'll probably get another movie with Caesar being the lead, forgetting that he died in the last movie, spoiler alert. But this movie, I was caught by surprise. It takes hundreds of years into the future. Still the same universe, but it's a standalone movie. It's a spiritual successor where they honor, where different groups have different views. They view Caesar as their Jesus.
Right.
More with radical groups, more that's a spiritual, peaceful way. But you see in the movie how one radical group, the main villains, involved where they totally disobey the number one rule: ape doesn't kill ape.
Right.
But it's a really well done film. I stand by what I said when we came out, that it's definitely one of the best movies of the year so far. And the apes, they set it up, they filmed it in a way that the apes did a great job acting out the human emotions,
right,
which is like the core of it. And keep in mind, this franchise, like Ghostbusters, like Godzilla, this franchise has been around for so many years, since
the 60s.
Early 60s,
1968 maybe, with the Charleston Heston originated this crazy world that, apes versus humans, talking monkeys. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, so in the short, like in our first impressions, I said like I never really touched Planet of the Apes stuff before, and I think this, if you're like me and you haven't like watched these movies yet, this is actually a good movie to start with, because like you said, like it takes place hundreds of years in the future,
300 to be exact, I believe.
300, where like Caesar's dead and everything, but like it's actually a Planet of the Apes, and I feel like the story does a really good job like alluding to things in the past that make you like, you don't feel lost, but it makes you want to watch the previous movies to like get a better understanding of what they're talking about. So like, I mean, I have yet to dabble into the rest of the movies, but like I left that theater thinking to myself, like, I need to watch the rest of the Planet of the Apes series now. But I think they did a really good job too with the visuals. The
CGI was on point.
This was CGI this was like Phase 3 Marvel, like Thanos CGI, in my opinion, like for the most part.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't feel cheaped out by it once, and I think that's absolutely a highlight of the movie in a time that everybody's just always bagging on CGI effects over practical. So, yeah. In
when the non-action parts of the movie, when it's just the apes talking amongst each other, and even the zoom-in shots, like, the CGI was so good, like on the faces, you felt like they were using practical effects.
Yeah, I mean, you saw like every bit of fur on them. Right.
Yeah.
Well, there were some scenes that you were like, ooh, they skimped out on this scene, with the effects and everything. But overall, I would say like 95% of the movie was great in its CGI and its portrayal of, a planet of the apes.
Like, I thought they were going to focus, that quickly turned later in the movie, but I thought they were going to focus more on the apes. They're at a stage in their evolution that They're talking, they have human intelligence, but they're living in villages amongst the remains of the humans that die out, and they just what humans are left they think are just wild animals that can't talk.
Right.
That leads us to the lead girl. That,
Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova. But to go back a little bit back to what you were saying, how you were comparing Caesar with, Jesus.
Yeah.
You realize that they did what humans have done, right?
Yeah.
They've made someone or some being into their god and everything. So in essence,
For Caesar.
right, in essence, what they did was they basically created their own religion based off of Caesar, and then everyone believes in it. But there's also different sects, because we saw that. What was that one dude? The
orangutan?
No, Proximus Caesar. Well, yeah, the orangutan too, but Proximus Caesar believes Proximus Caesar believes in Caesar in a certain way, while as the orangutan was Raka, right? Raka believes in him in a different way, still believing in Caesar.
It's literally two sides of the same coin, right?
Exactly.
Like Proximus Caesar and like his whole following, they're all on a more radical side of things, where it's like like I will kill in the name of Caesar, whereas like apes like the orangutan have a more spiritual, almost like monk like aspect to it, that like like I pray to him and I see him as a symbol of peace, and like like as a chance that humans and apes can coexist. So I think that was the whole central theme of the movie, is just those two sides like just butting heads and going at it and seeing like which side will prevail over the other.
You see him acting like a true cult leader.
Yes.
And he's power hungry, and he's kidnapping other clans to force his beliefs onto them to follow what he believes is the right way, the right beliefs.
And other humans.
And other humans too. And he's power hungry, that he craves the human technology. Like, he has his whole army trying to take down like a steel door to see what's behind it, and he has intelligence, but he doesn't have the human intelligence to get it. But so that's why he's trying to use every ape, every human possible to get to what he wants, that human technology, to take him to the next level of his power hungry insanity.
Yeah.
Insanity is the right word, because this dude wanted to just destroy everything. He's like, oh, but you know what though? I'll give him credit though. He wasn't like a true like dictator type deal, because after they failed every single day trying to open that door, he was like, all right, guys,
it's a glorious day.
Yeah, it's a glorious day, but you know what? We'll try again tomorrow to make sure we can open it.
He definitely had like an emperor has no clothes type of thing,
Right.
like an underlying theme like with him, because like you knew like he wasn't perfect, but everybody around him thought he was perfect.
Right.
Like even like that other human character in the library that was just like, there's nothing you can do. This is just the way life is now. Like just submit to him and like just accept it. So like that gave him a lot of weight as a villain, as a character, in my opinion. But yeah, like that side of it too, I thought was really good.
What did you guys think of William H. Macy as Trevor,
That's one of my small
the librarian?
That's one of my small criticisms of the movie. It's like, what
Not enough William H. Macy.
no, like what a wait, like kind of like just a waste of a character and of a great actor. Like, you thought it was gonna have a bigger role. Clearly has an alliance to the apes that he's associated with. It, doesn't believe in the human cause anymore. So, but like he was just like, what was he? Even 5 minutes on screen,
Yeah, but I still feel like those 5 minutes that he was on screen though were good. It wasn't like they wasted him in a 30-second cameo.
Well, it was more than a cameo. I think his problem was just the way he was killed, or the way he was taken out. Like a spoiler alert at this point, but not really. But like, I think he should have been. He shouldn't have had that scene where he like kind of steps in on what they're trying to do to break in like through the dam and setting up like the explosives and everything. Because then that's what ended up getting him killed. But like he should have had a part like after the infiltration of like the safe house, or whatever you want to call it.
But he clearly lost his belief in that humans have a chance to make a comeback in their existence. And I guess what was shocking about how he's killed, that he wasn't killed by another ape, he was killed by May, who we find out is secretly trying to work with humans that are very much alive and well, and trying to.
So that's like the other central theme too, is just like the humans are like, they have to fight back, they have to survive, and maybe they're not all that trustworthy, and like the apes, like their view of humans is kind of justified. Like by the end of the movie, like we even see like the central female character, I forget her name,
Nova.
but like
May.
Nova. Yeah, we see Nova herself.
Her
like
real name was May.
Yes, her real name was Maeve. They called her Nova.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like at the end of the movie, we see Nova like kind of double crossing like the apes,
Right.
and like we weren't seeing that coming at all. Really, I didn't at least. And then we see like all the setups with the rest of the humans that are still alive, and like they're still got like the comm systems going and everything. So it's like, okay, like this is also something that like gives weight to what the apes believe. So
Mike, what did you call the human cause that are hiding with the satellites?
Those were the resistance, man.
They were the rebels.
the rebel cause.
Alliance.
That was for the rebels. And I feel like if they make another one, because they have to at this point.
Yeah.
Because this one made, it made a couple of bucks. But I feel like when they do that, I feel that the next movie that they do is going to be the human resistance going up against the Planet of the Apes.
Well, yeah, they kind of left it open-ended.
Open-ended, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had to, because why would they waste...
Like you saw how Noah made the part each other. Like there was still that tension. Like
Right.
we achieved the goal to like break free, take out the dictator, the cult leader. But you could tell, and then you see who May was working for the whole time. So and this could be the start of a new trilogy or
Well,
new
this is
movie.
a part 4 to a movie, so technically this would be a second trilogy.
Yeah, or part 5, since it kind of departed from like Caesar was the lead character for the first three movies in the reboot series.
Right.
yeah. So in terms of box office, it looks like it's gonna pass the $300 million mark, which isn't bad.
Well, what was the budget for it?
172 million. Oh no, 127 million. Sorry.
127. It was 300 and what?
Oh no, wait. The movie's earnings. Oh no, 127 million is domestic. 172 million is international, which also isn't bad. The production budget was 160. 160.
So it
million.
made double. It made its budget.
It's like acceptable. It's like
acceptable,
okay,
yeah.
they'll make another Planet of the Apes movie. It's
They
not.
will.
Yeah,
They
I
will.
think right now in general, I mean, this is a whole nother discussion. I feel like there are a lot of like big movies that should be, getting a lot more box office than they should be, but like they're not. I feel like this is like one of them because this was. I agree with you, Pancakes. Like this was definitely one of the best movies of the year that I've seen so far. So it's. I think it deserves more than this. Should have been like a 500 million box office, in my opinion. It just needed more hype behind it.
You know what it is? It's a niche type deal because how many people are actually into the Planet of the Apes? Like, yes, it's a franchise that's been going on since the 60s.
You could say the same exact thing about Dune, though, and because I said the same thing
but
about Dune.
Dune was awesome.
Dune was, but this movie was pretty awesome too. Maybe not at Dune's level,
Right.
But I think it deserved
Dune-
a lot more than 300 million.
Dune's the movie of the year. It's gonna take something.
It's still on top.
Tremendous, or just to top that. But
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 is the gold standard for 2024.
We will see both of those, this movie and Dune 2, in the Oscar standings. I think
It wouldn't
next
surprise
year.
me.
At
It's
least
still-
for best visual.
It's still early, but 2024 so far seems to be the year of long-running franchises with new installments.
Keeping them fresh.
Keep them fresh one way or another.
I told you, 2024 is the year of the sequels. I said that when we were doing our most anticipated videos.
So yeah, it's a Ghostbusters.
far, you're right.
Ghostbusters around since the early 80s. Godzilla, along with Khan, around since the 50s. Planet of the Apes since the 60s, and on we go.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is another one.
Oh, that's going
Boys.
to be
There's so
Beverly
many.
Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. Like, there's so many that have come out, decades ago, and yet there's still a want and need for all these movies. The question, though, is, are they going to continue with the pacing that they have? Because me personally, if you watch the reboot series, as they call it, the last 3 films plus this one being number 4, I think they're going in a great trajectory. They're going straight up with this because it seems like every movie is not 100% better than the rest, but it keeps going up.
Nothing has gotten worse.
No, it hasn't gotten worse.
It's
I
an
don't think
upward
so.
trajectory.
And
yeah.
to finish up about Apes, like Johnny, I know you had a vested interest in the director of the movie, considering a certain project he's working on, And you got
Wes Ball.
and you got a great taste of like how good of a movie he can make. So if you want to take it from here,
Yeah, no, I mean, so Wes Ball is also going to be doing the upcoming in the distant, semi-distant future Legend of Zelda movie.
Oh, right.
So obviously, I think we had already had a discussion about that too a while back, but yeah, this was a great indicator of like what he's capable of, and like the scenery that we got here, I can only imagine just applying like Hyrule, like the imagery of like the Legend of Zelda games, like a movie like this. So it's that's so far so good with him. So I got excited for that as well.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, as long as he does something that's not too out of the norm, something like the what is that trilogy? I forgot now.
Trilogy.
The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
Yes.
Rings.
So if he does something close to that for Zelda, that would be great.
I'm calling it now, and I said this last time. It's not going to be. That's what everybody's expecting, and knowing Nintendo, they are going to make this a certain direction that people are not going to expect.
Right.
They're
going to make it animated. So
everybody's going to surprise us. No, it's live action. It's going to be live action.
I know, but it's
or they're going to outright lie about it.
They lied about it and they said, "Hey, we're going to make it."
We couldn't figure it out, guys. It's going to be animated.
So the question goes out to you. Did you guys like it? Did you see it? Are you a fan of the Apes? Are you not a fan of the Apes? Do you like Kong more than you like Apes? I mean, let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. So, gentlemen, this is the creme de la creme. This is
Let's do it.
This is going to be fun. We are talking about X-Men 97, a show that came out back in, I believe, 94. Took a 30-year
92.
hiatus. 92, sorry.
92.
92, took a 30-year hiatus, and Disney said, hey, let's bring it back. And they renamed it, or they dubbed it X-Men 97. So all I'm going to say is, if you liked the original series, you are going to love this one. So what do you guys think?
I goddamn fucking love this show.
Yeah.
The fact it was one of those announcements that, not say lost, but there was so many announcements from Marvel Disney about what was coming. But when this show finally premiered and it was getting closer and closer, oh wow! From the first episode to the season finale, and keywords season finale, because we already know that season 2 was in production, season 3 is in development, so more great stuff on the way.
Well, I believe season 2 production is almost over, if not over, and they're just finishing it off.
Awesome.
But Johnny, what do you think?
Listen, Marvel Studios has had like a rocky couple years, right? And not everything's been on the negative side. Like, we loved, this isn't the only TV show people have loved from them the past year or so. Like, we loved Loki season 2, we loved Guardians volume 3 and all that. But those were more like iterative, like, okay, like a fresh breath of fresh air type of thing amongst all the crap that we were getting. Like,
Right.
So like this though, I feel like, especially with all the news that we've been getting about all the steps that Kevin Feige and the team are taking to like rewrite the ship and make things back to like the way they used to be. This is actually a really good indicator of like where things are going, because like for once I feel like I just got so like a sense of like love and care to like the highest degree being put into this show. Like the people who like took care of this, like they love X-Men, they love the comics, they love the original 90s show. And like you said, if you love the original, you're gonna be like head over heels for this show. And I tried binging as much of the original show as possible just to get myself back up to speed with this. And like, so I got like a really good before and after comparison. It's just like, yeah, like this just really, in most ways at least, like improves upon like what made the original show so special.
So what I also love is that, yes, it was under the Marvel Studios umbrella. They produced it, but they left, even though they in production they consider it making it part of the MCU. I'm glad for season 1 they left it alone in its own corner. One of our friends, Danny, said that he said that he thought they're going to link it to the X-Men and Deadpool movie. Cassandra Nova was going to be the main villain, and I'm glad they kind of kept it separate.
But I think that's the whole point, because we now have like the new moniker of Marvel Animation, not just Marvel Studios. Correct. Or Marvel, like one shot or whatever they call it, like the other ones, a Spotlight or whatever.
Spotlight, yeah.
Because they want to put people back in a place where they don't feel like they need to do homework just to watch everything that they put out nowadays. So Even though I gave myself homework to watch the original show, you don't really need to watch it to enjoy this. Like, it kind of puts you like in, it gives you enough information of like any context from the past show to kind of give you enough of an idea of like how to understand what's going on. But yeah, it's like I said, it's just a really good, I think, first look into post 2023 MCU with everything that went on last year.
It gives you hope. And to finish on his theory, he said, well, one small connection to like you had the Watcher who overlooks the multiverse. So it's part of the multiverse, but still its own corner. So no interaction yet. Like that Watcher was there because it was a Nexus moment and Cable is there to intervene in a different timeline. Cable is able to warn everyone enough to time to evacuate. But in this particular universe, this was a tentpole event. So, and you heard Cable say he tried 200 times.
Yeah.
And that there was 2 different ways, and it was the same.
It was like Doctor Strange saying, like, I tried 14 million.
Now that we hinted at it in like what we were watching, like X-Men. Oh, that episode. Now that some time has passed, the Genosha tragedy. The way that the creator of the show described it, it was like their 9/11 of the show.
Worse,
like a Hiroshima.
I thought like that. The fact that a beloved character that Gambit, sacrificed himself, even though it was in a bad ass way. Like, he got stabbed, but he still lit it up.
Remember my name.
Remember,
that's it.
Remember it. Yeah, my name is Gambit.
And they teased that Magneto was taken down. Like that's probably one of the most badass that Magneto on the side of good. Up until that point in this season, like fighting off the Sentinels, and he
was trying to do good in Professor X's memory.
Right.
Like,
yes.
In the beginning of the show, I was just like, oh, we can't trust. But I was like, and then like the second or third episode, I'm like, oh no, he really means it. Like he's actually trying to turn a new leaf.
Well, as you saw, Bastion and his cronies force Magneto's hand to go back to his old ways of, that, and we got the slogan that went viral that Magneto was right. He basically declared war on the human race. He knocked out power from the entire world.
And let's be honest, we missed that part of Magneto. Because in the beginning of the season, this is like, it's cool to see he's trying to turn a new leaf, but it's just like, it's kind of boring.
Who doesn't want a badass Magneto? Who wants the lovey-giddy, I want to follow in Professor X's steps type Magneto?
I guess not cringe, but what did you think of the Magneto Rogue love interest? Like there is a comic book connection there, but Magneto's one of the few people who could touch Rogue and not be affected or not lose his powers.
I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
At first I almost thought like, this is a little forced, but then like they explain how he suppresses her power, so I'm like, oh, that's how they just realized. I think in her case, once she saw she could touch somebody like without a glove,
for her, it's
that
like,
was just like, it could have been anybody doing that, and I think she would have fallen for them. But like Magneto was there to be that person for her, so I think that's just what happened.
One thing I want to point out is like I love how they knew from us from the '90s kids grew up. They made it mature. They made it gritty.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid.
They pushed it a little bit more than normal.
We got the blood. The fact that we saw Wolverine's claws go through Magneto's skin. There was a bit of cursing in there. Like they said pissed off. They said bastard.
Right.
So
drinking alcohol
Ooh, guys.
in the club. Yeah, right.
No, but it's for a quote unquote a kid, what was originally a kid's show.
Yeah, but times have changed. This is 30 years later.
True.
Okay?
They reference Magneto's troubles, what he went through in the Holocaust. And back in the 90s, there was a strict, no mention of
God or anything like that.
No, that he was in the Holocaust. He was in the concentration camps. Like
they called it camps.
Like they really, pushed the envelope. For it was it TG? Did they rate it TG-13 for the PG-13?
I noticed there was. I think it depended on the episode.
So it would be different. TV would be TV
there was
14.
Because there was an episode that was PG and not TV-14. So I think it depended on. It might have been the video game episode. Because it was more lighthearted?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that when I turned on the episode.
What a waste of an episode that was.
I thought that was good.
It was good, but it had nothing
Said Johnny 64, but I thought it was good.
Right, but there was nothing wrong with the episode. I'm just saying, like, for the storyline of what we saw and heard and everything, it didn't need to be in this season.
Well,
like, it was a fluff piece.
That's but you know what, though?
Same thing with the Storm thing.
But you know what though? That's in the spirit of the original show because
Yeah, I get it.
those episodic stories went all over the place
I
too.
know.
And like honestly, I was almost like when I was like binge watching it, I was just like, what the hell? Like I blink and I'll be like, well, who's that character? Where did he come
Yeah,
from? Where did
exactly.
this? Weren't we just talking about apocalypse? What the hell's going on here?
Right. I did like the jumping in between that Morph did, where he we didn't get the actual characters, but we got him as the characters, like running around, like if he was Omega Red or if he was
The Hulk.
The Hulk, right? So that was pretty cool. Other than that, I think the series was good. I just don't. I just can't wait for season 2, and I'm hoping that season 2 comes sooner rather than
The
later.
only thing I could say, like, I like, not that I wasn't a fan of it, but just like kind of like, like crack things a little bit with me was just like, what did you think of the animation?
Well,
it was a lot better than the original.
very good.
You
very
think it was
good.
better? Well,
Yes.
yeah. Well, we're comparing like early '90s animation to
Right.
now, but I feel like
They tried
have
to copy it.
They obviously try to emulate the style, which they did, but I just feel like at times I felt like I was watching like Archer animation, if that makes sense.
No.
Like it almost looked like
I see what he's
know
saying.
what I'm talking
I see what he's saying.
During close-ups.
Yes.
That's when I noticed it more.
But the original show did that also.
Yeah, but it was more like hand drawn, so like you didn't really notice it as much. It's the way, like, since this is like digitally made and not like hand drawn made,
Right.
you see it more, and it's just like it at times looked like it wanted to be CGI, but it had to stay hand drawn looking, and it just kind of had a weird, like almost not Flash animation, but like an Archer show type of animation to it.
And the various Marvel cameos didn't feel forced at all. It didn't interfere with any of the main storylines going on. And part of me was like, forgetting for moments like that everything's under one roof because, in the past Marvel, this character was that studio. You can't mention that.
Yeah.
But it was so cool, like when you got Rogue's mention of Rogue's interaction of Captain America had just tossed his shield into the mountain.
That was so funny.
We saw Captain America.
It was.
And he was just like, "Come on."
We saw Cap and Iron Man with the president, with President Kelly
We saw Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together again towards the end. So I think we're going to have a revival of Spider-Man 94.
Yeah, that's the next question.
We saw him in the Spider-Man costume, so seeds planted, like we discussed offline, to get Spider-Man 98. Disney, make it happen. So,
Or else.
Or else we strike.
Yeah, right.
So the question goes out to you guys. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think that season 2 is going to be better than season 1? I sure hope so because
it's on the right track.
Because they're bringing back Gambit. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. And just want you guys to all let you guys know that we are out. Roll
Credits.